Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? And welcome to our Friday Book of the Month conversation, where we dive into or talk a little bit about a segment, a portion of the book that we're reading throughout that month. And so this month, through the month of April, and we're going to really push it on to the month of May. But throughout this month, we have been reading a book entitled "The Mountain Is You." If you are just joining these conversations and you haven't joined in and read this book, the information for this book is in the description below, and you'll be able to check that out and start your reading journey, because this specific book, I believe, is impactful because it helps us deal with some emotional pieces. The last book that we read, was dealing with our thinking, but this specific book is not per se dealing with our thinking. It is dealing with our internals, is dealing with our emotions, is dealing with the things that we are dealing with. And so today, I'm going to go ahead and lay out before us the conversation, or something that popped out to me in this book that I want to just talk about and really just kind of like bring to an awareness type thing. This is what it says. It says, if you're trying to fix the problem on the surface, you will always come up against a wall. This is because you're trying to rip off a band-aid before you have a strategy to heal the wound. I'm going to read it one more time. I'm telling you, this book is powerful. If you're trying to fix the problem on the surface, on the top level, the things that you can see, the things that show itself, the things that manifest, I'll use those words, right? You will always come up against a wall, meaning there will be no progress. You'll keep ripping or dealing with the same issue because you're really not dealing with the real issue. This is because you're trying to rip off a band-aid before you have a strategy to heal the wound. So here's the thing that I want us to kind of really break down this context. A lot of times, the things that we are seeing, the things that we are seeing in our attitude, the things that we are seeing in other people's attitudes, majority of the time is not the real issue. It's not the deep portion or the underlying thing. The majority of the time, what happens is, because we are only looking at or dealing with the surface part, what ends up happening is we never actually resolve what the real problem is, because we're always looking at surface. So what this is saying is we have to look past just surface problems, and we have to create a strategy, which I've been telling you, talking about this. We have to create a strategy and let the strategy deal with the real issue. So the first strategy that we have to think about is, how do we find out what the real issue is? If what I'm seeing on the surface is not the real problem, if that's not the real issue that we're dealing with, then I have to be able to find the strategy, the know-how, the understanding of how to be able to deal or find what the real core problem and the real core issue is. So one of the ways, I say this before and I'm gonna say it again, but one of the ways that we are able to do this is we have to ask the question, why? Why did I respond that way? Why is this continually happening? Why is this situation the way it is? There's a reason why I'm saying you ask the question why. I'm hot, a little bit hot. The reason why I'm saying you ask this question is because of this. The only way you're going to start really understanding what the real problem is that you need to heal, or the wound that you need to heal, is you have to have these questions that cut down your layers, right? So for example, I remember that there was a time where I was struggling. I was dealing with something, right? And the question was, I'll use my weight, for example. I was dealing with this cycle, right, of going on and on and on and on, where one season I'll be like, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna get in shape, I'm gonna do better. Couple months, couple weeks, whatever, I fall off. Oh, I'm not going to do this. I fall back off. I'm not going to do this. I fall back off. And what I started to try to figure out is why. Now, I could say, oh man, because I didn't have discipline. Yeah, that might be a reason. I mean, but that's not the real reason. So I had to continue to dig and ask questions. I had to get to a point where I started to really ask some questions. And sometimes when I'm asking questions, I'm looking for the answer, and sometimes the answer might come from within me, like I know the answer. Sometimes that answer might come from someone that knows me, like my wife. She knows me, so I can ask her certain things. But then sometimes it comes from people in moments where you hear something that says, that's it. And one of the things that ended up happening with me was when it came specifically for my weight, I was going back and forth with this struggle. But what I end up figuring out or realizing is, one, I had to find out, why am I gaining this weight the way I am? And the reason why was because of my eating habits. So then I had to ask myself, why am I eating the way I'm eating? What I realized is the reason why I was eating the way I was eating was because I was an emotional eater. So when I got frustrated, I would eat. When I was sad, I would eat. When something went wrong, I would eat. Now I'm not talking about just eating food. I would eat snacks. I would eat things that I knew was not good for me, and then I would overconsume. So for me to be able to fix the wound, I had to ask a layer of questions to be able to get to the real problem. So then after I realized the root of my problem in reference to being an emotional eater, now I have to be able to create a strategy to be able to deal with that thing. What has taught me that when you have this emotion, the way that you fulfill it is by eating? Because now I'm trying to fix this problem. Now I'm trying to heal this wound. So now I have to ask more questions why, so that I can be able to have a clear understanding of how to be able to deal with it. So that's where this continual questioning of why helps us to get to the real problem, not the surface issue. The surface thing with me was that I kept gaining weight. That's surface. So yeah, just go to the gym. Just do this. Yeah, that works, but that doesn't deal with the real problem. The real problem was underneath. And it wasn't just because I was an emotional eater. Why was I emotional eater? I had to be able to deal with those. So all of those layers of questioning of why helped me get to the problem, to where now I'm able to get the strategies and the things that I need, not just to heal the problem, but now I can deal with the issue. And the issue of the whole thing was I was overweight. I needed to lose weight. So that's a part of where we're talking about here. Again, you got to get this book. If you have not started reading this book, the information will be in the show notes, and you can be able to read and join in and be a part of this journey. And as always, I love you all, and I'll see you this Monday, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Can't wait to talk to y'all. All right, bye-bye.